Over the last few months I've been using this workshop more and more, and I often notice how dusty it gets. Now when I'm doing really dusty work in here, I obviously wear a mask, but realistically you're not going to wear one all the time. So when I saw recently that Lumberjack Tools had released a new air filter into their Pro Series line, I knew that I had to have one. This is the Air F1 and it's part of their Pro Series. My bandsaw and my planer thicknesser over there are the first two tools that I bought from Lumberjack, and they're both part of their Pro Series. Now I couldn't really be happier with these two tools, so I'm expecting big things from this air filter. I have to say this is probably the most important upgrade that I'm going to do in this whole mini series, because it's going to obviously affect my health. Now if you haven't watched this mini series so far, what I've been doing is making a variety of workshop improvements throughout a few different videos. Now all those videos are going to be in a playlist in the end screen and also linked in the description, so if you haven't already, go and check those out. Now for full disclosure, I did get this item at a reduced price because I am now an affiliate with Lumberjack Tools. They'd seen the videos that I did on the bandsaw and the planer thicknesser, and they were really impressed and got in touch. That does also mean that you'll now get 5% off any order that you make on lumberjacktools.co.uk. So if you check out and use the code RENODAN, you're going to get 5% off any order. That being said, however, I haven't been paid anything for this video, and on this channel I'm never ever going to do any false reviews. If anyone sends me anything to review, I'll try out the product and let you know the positives and the negatives. As someone who's never had a workshop air filter but does have one in the house weirdly, I was actually shocked and a little bit scared with how much dust coated the outside of this filter within a day or two. Bearing in mind, all of the stuff that I was doing at that point wasn't anything that I would have grabbed a mask for, so usually I would have been breathing all of that dust in, which is not cool. Now an air filter is actually something that's pretty hard to visually represent. Now I could show you a dirty air filter, but anyone could pour some dust on an air filter. That doesn't prove anything. So I was trying to think of a way that I could actually show you the effect of this air filter without obviously being something that could be faked. Now I watched another video on various dust extractors and I saw somebody who was testing the difference in suction at different lengths away from the vac hose. Now what they did was get some smoke pellets. So I got myself some smoke pellets, and what I'm going to do is use these smoke pellets to show you the effectiveness of this air filter. But first, let me run you through a few of the specs of the machine. It's got dual filters to remove 98% of particles as small as 5 microns and 85% of particles at 1 micron. The outer filter catches the large debris, and then the inner filter, which is washable, deals with the smaller stuff. You can also vac or use an airline to clean these outer filters so that the filter should last a decent amount of time. There's 3 different speeds for obviously different airflows and therefore different sound levels. The filter can operate at 62 decibels, which is about the noise level of a standard conversation. It's got this handy remote which is actually perfect for me because I've got it mounted up here on my storage platform, so I can't easily reach round onto the back to turn this on and off, so I can obviously just click on and it turns on. You get the idea. It can also be suspended from the ceiling using the included mountings. It's got a timer too, so you can specify how long you want to leave it to run after you've finished in your space, which means it's not only going to clear the air, but it's got the added benefit of less of the dust settling on your tools and your workspace. Right, now let's get to the fun and probably a little bit stupid part. I'm going to set this camera up in the corner to cover the whole workshop. And then this main camera is going to be focused up here on the air filter. Now I'm not going to stay in here during this test because I think even with a dust mask it's probably asking for trouble. I will obviously keep checking to make sure that the smoke pellet hasn't gone on fire or anything. Now these smoke pellets do produce a ridiculous amount of smoke, so it is a little bit of an unfair test, but it should show you visually what the air filter actually does do, and then I'll see roughly how long it takes to fully clear this space. But if you ever had the amount of dust in here that was equivalent to the amount of smoke that's going to be in here, you've had some serious issues.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the smoke was pulled up quite powerfully by the air filter. It didn't really go how I expected. I thought it would smoke, and then once it got up to a certain height, probably around head height and towards the filter, it would then be pulled in. But it was almost instantly causing an updraft and pulling the smoke even from a low level, which is actually really reassuring to think that the dust that's lower down in the workshop is also being pulled up and into the filter. It probably took about 10 minutes or so for the smoke to fully clear, but you're never going to have clouds of dust that thick in the workshop, or like I said, something has gone slightly wrong for you. Now I'm actually well impressed by that. I was really pleased with this after just using it practically for a couple of days in the workshop, but I thought that this scientific test might have backfired on me and maybe made this look worse than it actually is. But no, fair play, this actually proves that this has really good suction. The airflow on its highest setting is 1675 CFM, which is cubic feet per minute. Now that doesn't really mean anything to me, but it's good for me to at least give you the specs if you're comparing this to other machines. Now for the price of less than £250, I think this is a no-brainer for anyone, to be honest, if it means cleaner and healthier lungs. I don't think anyone's ever got to 90 and regretted keeping their lungs healthy, have they? I've just been making a habit of turning this on as soon as I get in the workshop, usually just on low, and then once I'm using more dust heavy tools, I'll stick it onto high to keep things clear. I'm definitely happier having this in the workshop than I was before. If anything does change with this, I'll leave it in a pinned comment on this video. And hopefully I haven't choked it to death from smoke inhalation, as it's not exactly meant for that use. But it's built like a trooper, so I think he can take it. Next week's video is going to be the very last in this mini series of workshop improvements, and then it's on to the tiny workshop tour. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that one. Plus, you'll help me try and reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.